with a 9 to 5, you cannot make money while you sleep. It's great to wake up and see all these Shopify notifications.
Chichin.
You're not going to get that in real estate. You're not going to get that in tech. You can't do that as a mechanic, anything like that. This is really the only space where that is possible. So thank you.
Hello to everyone, Anatoliy is here. Welcome to another episode of the e-commerce business stream podcast, where I have a wonderful person here, one of our clients who is working with us for last couple of months and already generating 15 to 20,000 every single month with Shopify automation stores. And actually, I would like to hear what Max went through and discuss more why he decided to go from the customer success management to the e-commerce world. So I would like to welcome Max Wolf to our podcast. Max, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Well, happy to be here. Thanks so much for the invite. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so a little bit about my transition or possible transition right now. E-commerce, we do see this trend happening where stores in brick and mortar is starting to close down and more shopping is going online. There are so many eyeballs and people online all the time. E-commerce, really this light bulb went off for me that I could find a way to do income or have income come in from an income stream perspective, but do it on my own terms. So, work a little bit in the morning, work at night, but have that flexibility to actually live my life.
You were saying that you're doing for several years the customer success management, then account management, and you just focusing on a lot. You have a lot of experience with the customer care. So you, I believe, one of the best potential business owner out there, because e-commerce is all about the managing your customers through email, through the messaging, and handling the problems on distance. So that's experience which is definitely will help you to succeed in this business. But to compare what you're doing for several years and e-commerce, only a couple of months in, what difference do you feel between the industries, in terms of how it's affecting on your lifestyle, in terms of what you said you're doing just morning and night, or morning and evening, the e-commerce business? What about comparing the two different directions? What's pluses, what's minuses so far?
Yeah, good question. So in a normal W2 9 to 5, there is that consistency, right? You are trading your time for money, and that money is coming in all the time. It's a nice, safe little bubble, and that works for some personalities. However, within that consistent paycheck, especially in account management, which is really sales, there are peaks and valleys. So the plus, or I should say the one-to-one connection there or comparison really is it's the same. There are peaks and valleys in e-commerce. During COVID, when a lot of companies went fully remote, and some are starting to return to the office or do a hybrid style environment where you're in the office some days, some you're not, you don't have flexibility. So I was on the phone or on Zooms, literally back to back from about 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. You get a little bit of a break here and there, but you really are tied down to your seat. Even if you can take a call, maybe not in your hometown, you're on the road or something like that. Technology's been amazing to help us connect, like we're doing right now. But I do like the freedom and flexibility to run out and get a sandwich, go drop some mail off, etc. But the biggest difference is with a 9 to 5, you cannot make money while you sleep. It's great to wake up and see all these Shopify notifications. So your store yes, it's so it's not even a trade of time for money. If you put in the investment up front with your team, figuring out return on ad spend and really self-educating, you can succeed very quickly in this business, in this world.
That's one of the greatest, comments what you said. Making money while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
That's another thing. We were speaking before recording with Max about why I'm doing e-commerce. I was saying about flexibility and just can manage from the phone all the business for several years. But another thing, it's this Chechen stuff, it's like a drug. I mean, you waking up and like you definitely want to see what happened. You definitely want to see like what kind of level of the sales has been reached while you are sleeping. And as well, like you can, this is my practice since 2018, I believe, when I start practicing that. I'm just analyzing my year, what was the total amount generated, and I'm just counting by quantity of hours and then quantity of minutes, how much I was making in a minute in the last year. And I was counting in 24 hours, not like 9 to 5, 20 hours a week. I was counting 24 hours every day of the 365 days. And that's giving me the reality of my value of my time. And I'm like, oh, it's so low. And I'm like, how I can double it? And I goals oriented. And the thing is that I'm complaining that could be something low or whatever, but at the end, think about it. It's the like amount which you generated, even if you are sleeping, you are eating, you are doing what you are driving, doesn't matter. It's just what you're generating, and it's incredible feeling. I agree with you. This is one of the greatest difference, I would say, between any other businesses.
I 100% agree. So there are a lot of similarities between what I've done now and now, but again, this is showing me the art of the possible. I don't know anything else, or I've never worked in another job or seen another income stream where you can make money while you sleep. You're not going to get that in real estate. You're not going to get that in tech. You can't do that as a mechanic, anything like that. This is really the only space where that is possible. So thank you.
Awesome. Amazing feedback. Can you tell me, like, before joining us, have you like discovered like other experiences with the Shopify automations before, or you started your own store? Like, what was your experience when you joined us?
Full transparency, I've been interested in e-commerce for a while, and I tried to start up my own store. I found it overwhelming, to say the least. From picking your products and getting a winning product, learning ads manager, it's definitely a tall order. So I did contract with another company, and we had some initial success with them, and it trailed off very quickly. And so much so to the point where I became disenchanted with e-commerce overall, and did not think that it was for me. We were doing maybe $300 a month. And I said, I will never transition to e-commerce with numbers like this. So luckily, I remembered that when I was doing my market research, which I do very thoroughly, that you had taken the time to speak with me and, personally. So I did reach out to you again through some different channels, and you responded. And luckily, we did get to connect. And again, through this initial success that we've had, I do see the art of the possible, that, it really is possible to have and build a life with e-commerce that I did not get from that other company.
I completely understand what you're saying. And like, what were the main challenges you faced before? I mean, did you feel that the only way to grow was like to find out the right team? What was there exactly?
What I've learned in this business is you do have to have a winning product. It is so important to have a team that is there working for you, researching all the time. They are looking at analytics, what is selling, what's not, what's hot, what's not. You have to start with that. And this company had switched so many times. And by the way, every time you switch, it really does mess with the algorithm. And you basically start from zero, from scratch. So we were never able to really land on a winning product. And so you'd get one or two sales, and it would kind of start to look good, and then it would trail right off again, and we would start from scratch. The problem with that is, like I said, you were basically, if you were maybe a mile down the road, now you're back to the start line again. And that was so frustrating, and again, showed me how important it is to have those dedicated teams to find a product for you, because that's the hardest thing to do. Once you do that, you can start dumping in ad spend and scale from there, wash, rinse, repeat. But you have to get that first. You've got to nail it.
I know what you mean. Like, I'm really proud of our agency GSM that the media buying team, like in whole team in agency, it's like 30 plus people. We are like agency almost 5-year-old. In March 2025 it will be 5 years, and majority of the people work in 3+ years. I mean, some of the managers like 4+ years, and like media buying team, it's all of them 3+ years, couple of them like 1 year plus. And that's like no churn rate in the team, and that's exactly what, you know, like successful management looks like for me. That the sustainable team, that you don't need to teaching again and again new people who are coming and leaving, because this is, I believe, what's making the difference in terms of like good team management. And like according to that, that's exactly like, you know, what I'm wondering, how has your process for Shopify automation has been changed since you start working with us? What was the main difference in your opinion?
Yeah, good question. Now, you know, I can't speak to everyone's experience because I did have, you know, some previous experience with a different firm. It was night and day difference. Even talking in terms of, you know, like the intake process, kicking off the store, I could tell that it was way more professional, that the ads manager and the account manager were far more knowledgeable than the other team. And I felt like I was being taken care of and being walked through the process all the way through. And, you know, the biggest thing for me is patience, because I like to learn. And I would ask a lot of questions, and my account manager would take the time to answer. And he knows this, you know, up, down, left, right. And he does this every day. But it meant a lot to me that he would take the time to basically be a partner to me. And that's big from an account management perspective, so that we're a team that can succeed together. And so that was the biggest difference for me. An example of that is when we first, you know, kicked off our store, Facebook froze our ad account, and it's happening all over. It does happen. And this similar thing happened with this other company with TikTok, and it took them a month to get us, you know, back up and running, and we were just dead in the water. Within 48 hours, my account manager had a dedicated Facebook ad account that was a professional level 1. And he's like, yep, you're going to upload everything here. We've got it. We're going to nail it. And we're able to continue, you know, getting the sales going. And that just meant the world to me. So it really made me feel like, okay, I'm working with a professional, knowledgeable team who's been doing this for a while. And, you know, they're going to help me reach my financial goals.
Awesome. Yeah, that's cool, because you made me proud again. I mean, I'm proud of my team, but you made me proud again about my team. And it's all about what I was just saying to Max before recording, that we just like e-commerce and any kind of business has problems always. Like, for example, ad account frozen, like some customers like, oh my goodness, like you destroy my ad account. No, it's fine. My Facebook personal profile has been banned 2019 December, so I don't have I have personal, but it's like not active anymore, as I was before super active in the personal Facebook. And I was always I was that time super sensitive about that. I lost my personal account. I was active, I had influence there, but again, it's a part of the business. It happened. We move forward. There is a solution. We can manage that. So, and we managed and moving on. So, like that's exactly like we doing these things on the daily basis. And because of that, like when problem is happening, we just click, knows what is how to manage, because this problem is not new. It's like something was repeating again and again with us, with other clients. Like, and we have already partners, solutions who can help us to solve XYZ problem for the quick way. And that's really cool that like 1 month is disaster, to be honest, but cool that my team will give you exact experience like 48 hours and everything fixed, because it's supposed to be fixed in less than a couple of days. And that's exactly what happened. May I ask you, can you just describe the time commitment required from your end during our collaboration? You were saying that Monday evenings, but like in terms of hours, and is it every day or it's sometimes time to time? What responsibilities do you have, and what did you take care of while we are managing your business?
Yeah, good question. I think there's a couple things in that answer. One is to kick off the learning curve. Two is setting up your own business. So a lot of people sell this as passive, and eventually, nothing in life is passive, but this is as passive as it can get in the real world. I had to set up an LLC, an EIN, work with lawyers and get everything kicked off and get this going. So I put in, probably 15 hours a week with this right off the bat. As everything is set up now, it's between working with your team and the supplier. So I'm probably putting in maybe an hour or two in the morning and one more hour at night. So that's only about 3 hours a day.
Nice.
That's incredible.
And what is that? Paying to supplier? I mean, to check in the chat.
Exactly. Yeah. So the supplier is very upfront with product cost charges. So it's working with them. It's making sure that we've got enough ad spend and revenue. So I'm working with your ads buying team, the account management team. And then it's also talking about strategy. So every day or every other day, we're talking about what needs to be adjusted. What is our Q4 plan going to be? Ads are becoming much more expensive right now, which I didn't know. So the competition is a lot harder. So we are really lockstep from the account management perspective, and more so right now than probably through the rest of the year. So there's a lot of strategy adjustments, tweaks that need to be made so that we can continue to have that strong sales success. So there's a lot of that going back and forth. It's working with the supplier. It's making sure that we've got a consistent supply of product to be sent out. And also doing product research of my own, because your team is actually very open to suggestions as well. So again, it just goes back to that partnership perspective.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And sometimes clients bring just brilliant ideas. I mean, most of the time we just deny, not because we don't like it, because of experience. We're just saying why it's not that good because we know why. But sometimes, this is something makes sense, and we just internally even speaking, this brilliant idea, like Max just brought that on the table, and we just start brainstorming that how that can be used. And the beauty, while you were speaking, just recently, you in last hour you generated $100 and in revenue. I just check your store and while we are speaking, $100 has been installed, and it's again to come back making money while you're sleeping or making this kind of podcast. Just decided to comment that. I would like to ask you as well, based on the results so far, $100 in 1 hour, and so far today you generated $624 as I can see as per middle of the day. Based on the results so far, where do you see your business in the next 6 to 12 months? Where you want to be there? Yeah,
from a time investment, I'm okay with 2 to 3 hours a day. Again, very different than sitting at your computer for 10 hours a day, right? So I'd like to maybe back that down to 2 hours a day. That would be great. From a revenue perspective, I want to be in the six figures. In 6 months, I'd like to be at 100K plus. I think that that's a very attainable goal with the right team, the right product, the right marketplace. And then, where I'd like to be in a year from now is having a 7-figure store.
Makes sense, and it's completely achievable. And one of the main points which you just said, it's a product. Yeah, product could be a bitch. I mean, it's delivered so good, and suddenly, boom, some Facebook policies updates. My first winning product was the T-shirt with the kitty in the pocket. Here is the pocket. This nice little kitty, so sweet. And when you remove in the pocket, it's showing middle finger, and it's hilarious. People were laughing. The comments section under the ads were just destroying. People were just commenting, tagging each other. It was so successful launch. But at the end, Facebook in 3 weeks updated policies, of course, that no more middle fingers in the ads. And boom, my ad shut down, and all other pictures where is not visible middle finger were not working out because nobody understand the concept of the T-shirt, And that was really, really sadness on my side. But I'm just saying, yeah, the product is one of the things which is hold you back from the scaling to 7 figures. Plus systems management, which is already in place, but still you need financial system strong enough. You need to be prepared for any other stuff. But as well, isn't it that good that you don't need inventory. Compare with Amazon, Walmart, like Shopify automation, you are just paying for something what you already sold.
Right. It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, that's huge. I don't need to have, because you're right, there are a lot of other business models out there, drop shipping, but even, fulfilled by Amazon, I don't have to manage an entire, 150,000 square foot warehouse with all this product and forklifts, electricity, people. That's overhead. And that's a lot of overhead that does cut into your profits. So this model, at least for right now, really does work for me. And it's funny, you were talking about the t-shirt. I think the other thing that comes up too, that your team really excels at too, is finding the right user-generated content, or UGC, by the way. I meant to commend them on that too. That will oftentimes do the selling for you, being able to properly show the product, what's the aha moment, what gets that psychological person, to buy that moment. And there's really good UGC and there's terrible UGC. So getting that content is so important in terms of helping you sell. But yeah, I mean, once that machine gets going, yes, I don't have to maintain a huge warehouse and I don't have to pay people. There's no electricity, heating, like I said, forklifts, there's none of that. And I can do it from anywhere in the world as well. You can't do that if you're maintaining a warehouse.
100%. I agree with you about the warehouses. It's a pain in the ass. Yes. What surprised you about like Shopify automation the most? And did you have any misconceptions before starting?
My misconception was that it was simple. It is not.
Too good to be true, yeah.
Yes. There are so many nuances within the Shopify platform itself. How to plug in, whether you're going to do TikTok, Facebook and Instagram, how, the strategy for picking the right product, having a team in place to run ads for you. I would be spending 50 hours a week probably myself doing all that, and I feel like running in a hamster wheel perhaps, and maybe not getting anywhere, especially if you don't nail the winning product. It would be all for nothing if I, did do all of that. So that was what I had thought. Shopify, it's easy, it's drop shipping, I don't have to own anything, and it's actually very complex, and there are a lot of moving pieces to be successful with Shopify and with drop shipping.
A lot. Even like you're saying, as passive as possible, but a lot of things has to be on place to make it work. Or you're going to be doing that like 14, 18 hours a day by yourself, or like delegating that stuff. I completely understand what you're saying. Like you had bad experience. You decided after had conversation with me in the past, you made the decision to join GSM Growth. Like, were you surprised by the results you got working with us according to your previous experience? What was your feelings when you were joining us?
It was night and day difference. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I was ecstatic. I was happy. I knew enough coming into it, and I had taught myself enough that to be cautiously optimistic in that first month. But now in the second month, we will do even more sales if we keep this up, compounded probably by Black Friday, that I was so happy, elated. It wasn't just the sales though. It was the knowledge and comfort level that I had with working with your team. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
So it was just a night and day difference, black and white. In working with that other company versus your team. You know that people have done it before. Like you said, hey, I can tell that, whether an account gets frozen or our product starts to trail off in terms of how hot it is. Your team has, for lack of a better word, seen this movie before, or they've, navigated the racetrack. So they will help. They're going to be there for me. They'll tell me, hey, we're, starting to see some early trends. We're going to course correct, and here's going to be the plan. Does that work for you? Yeah. Okay. So just night and day difference. It's been incredible.
Nice. Thanks, man. If someone's on the fence about working with us, what would you tell them?
I think you should do your research, but there is a certain level of trust and faith you have to have. And I would say look up, Anatoliy and Ecom online and just see how much success you've had. The awards that are literally sitting, behind your head right now on the wall. Like the proof is in the pudding. You've been doing this for a long time. There are, and you're very public about it, and you speak publicly about it. And so there are a lot of other companies, and the leaders of those companies are not so vocal or transparent. And so if you're on the fence, just do some more research online, and you'll find that, it is not fake. It is, you're very transparent about what it takes to get there. You do talk about how it takes a while to scale, but once you get there, you're in good shape. So that I would say, do your research, make an informed decision, but ultimately, there's kind of going to be like one name that's going to keep popping up on Google, on YouTube, but it's going to be yours.
I appreciate it, man. That's just a matter of the years, as you said, years of experience. And the thing is, what make me mad when we have new customers who are joining us and they have bad previous experience, not about even not delivering, it could happen. They haven't been delivered results with the previous company. Okay, it could happen. That's why we have to find out the right product. We have to find out the right team. We have to find out the right customers. I mean, fit subjects together to make it work. And it's all about why winners never quit and always find the solution, because they never quit and they test in different approaches, different things, the same like with the teams. But what made me mad when people are paying for the cheapest option or even like overpriced option, and they instantly got blocked on Instagram or somewhere else after the payment and got screwed, and coming then to us and saying, hey, how I can trust you? And it made me so mad, because I asking, who did that to you? Show it to me. And they share in the Instagram, and there is zero real person behind. 5-6 pictures posted in the same day 6 months ago, saying to him that we are 7 years in the market or whatever it is. He's paying them 70,000, 50,000 upfront without doing any due diligence. Zero people like showing their faces in social media. No awards, nothing at all about the company. And after that, they come into me where his content is done daily, like all the social proofs and all the things what I'm doing for years. And they're like, hey, how I can help, believe you that you are not fake. And for me, it was like, seriously, we are speaking all about what happened to you in the past, and now you're speaking to the public person, and it's made me sad, that people making such kind of dumb decisions, and after that do not believe the real people behind. Hopefully it makes sense what I'm saying.
It does. There are a lot of scammers out there. There are a lot of people that are looking to take advantage. And if you don't know, now I know, some of those screenshots are posted. There are little subtle tweaks, like Shopify changed the color of all of their analytics, like from green to blue. So, you can now I know, but if you are just so brand new, what?
You can investigate.
Yes. But if you are new, it does take a little bit, and there has to be a little bit of responsibility on the buyer, the purchaser as well, or the I would say it's an investor. You are investing in this, as a different form of income. Some people do this as a main form, but I think that's the best way to look at it, is an investment, and you would never make an investment without doing thorough research, right? So I just, yes, there are always bad people out there, or bad apples. So it was just so refreshing, when I came across you and your team.
I appreciate it, man. And one of the final things, any thoughts you would like to tell the viewers?
I didn't think this was possible. There are people that are making money, and in some cases a lot of money, with e-commerce, and it is possible. It requires consistent, persistent effort with it. You have to have the right team in place, but whatever your financial goal is, I now believe that you can actually reach that.
Sky's the limit. The number one rule in the e-commerce.
Yes. Be prepared for some ups and downs, some surprises. It's okay. You will learn. Anatoliy's team will help you learn it together, which is the biggest difference. And you'll get through it. But I think at the end of the day, you'll be better for it, and so will your investment portfolio.
Awesome. I love the final thoughts. Max, I appreciate you for being on the podcast, sharing your experience working with us, and in general experience being in e-commerce as a couple of months only, and shared all the insights as a person who has something to share in terms of previous experience, in terms of understanding better now the difference between the real world old school 9-to-5s to the something new which is called an e-commerce and Shopify automations. I appreciate you for being here and sharing all your thoughts, and hopefully someone will have some specific questions, and if there is going to be something really strong and interesting, I will ask you privately to reply to that. Sounds good?
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you, man.